What's going on, family? I'm Scrapbook Boxing, the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series. I will continue my conversation with you concerning the complete history of boxing. Many of you who know my channel by now, you know I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of scrapbooks. Each scrapbook that I own is 1,000 pages thick, 2,000 front and back of information. I have 300 of these kinds of books. They're all newspaper articles. Now, my collection is not just newspaper articles stamped all over the place. They're in chronicle order of the year and the month that the fighters fought. So to give you an example, November 13th, 1942. Here you have December 18th, 1942. And this will go down the line. Now here we're looking at Bo Jack. He gambles all his jacks last night and hits the jackpot. The former Augusta, Georgia bootleg, who had to guarantee Ali Stoltz $10,000 to lure him into the garden last night, not only got more than his money's worth, but staged one of boxing's major upsets by scoring a 7th round technical knockout over number 1 lightweight contender. I'm trying to follow this. Swarming all over his highly favorite foe. They're speaking of Ali Stoltz. Now, just to put in perspective, let me see if I can get back to. No, okay, how Jack tipped. All right, so what they're talking about is that Sammy Angad had retired. That's like his 3rd time retiring. And there were rumors that he retired. He stated he did not retire, and then he eventually came to the conclusion that he needs to confess that he did go to the State Athletic Commission's office and officially retire from the ring. The retirement announcement, late afternoon, or in the afternoon, by the NBA. The president is Abe J. Green. And Angad had denied it, but he eventually admitted that he did retire. And Ali Stoltz was the number 1 contender. Bo Jack defeated Ali Stoltz, so it put him in line to take on Tippy Larkin. And eventually he would knock out Tippy Larkin in 3 rounds. And Bo Jack would become the lightweight champion of the world. So when you read these articles, it gives you a better perspective as to what really took place. Stoltz claims crown. Claims for the 135-pound immediately were filed by the NBA by Tippy Larkin, New Jersey Slugger, and Stoltz in the NBA last rating. So what happened, once they found out that Sammy Angad had retired, they immediately filed, not so much of a complaint, but they wanted to make sure that they were treated fairly and getting the proper opportunities. So Tippy Larkin was definitely going to be a contender for Sammy Angad. Now, what happened with Sammy Angad? Sammy Angad, and a lot of people just don't understand. I saw it in some article on someone's page. They didn't understand. They were tired of some rumors about Sammy Angad avoiding Ray Robinson or the title. They don't get it. They don't get it. There's too much reading. You have to talk to old-timers who was actually physically there. A lot of articles are not quite accurate. I'm going to say this for the last time. What happened with Ray Robinson and Sammy Angad? I mean, it's simple. Sammy Angad avoided Ray Robinson. Everybody who was at that time understands that. It's very clear. You know, it's frustrating sometimes. So what he did, he told Ray Robinson, if you eat a sandwich or two, because Sammy Angad came in weighing 136 pounds, 6.5 pounds. And Ray Robinson was such an icon coming out of the amateurs. He wasn't ranked in the lightweight division, but he was such a commodity that he was given that opportunity. And Angot didn't make weight because he didn't want that responsibility. It's what happened. And you'll read all kind of articles. I have them all. I have many books. I know what everybody else read. I understand that. I'm telling you. Sammy Angot avoided his title on the line against Ray Robinson. It's the bottom line. And there was an agreement that if you come in a little bit overweight, then I would make this right with you. I'll give you an opportunity. Then right after that, he would retire. Although he lost to Ray Robinson 3 times. Anyway, let me move on. Because it's... So here you have other outstanding performers in the division. You had Cleo Shane. He turned professional in 1940, along with Ray Robinson and Jimmy Bivens and Ike Williams and Willie Pep, Ezra Charles. He was a good fighter. Olsen and Johnson. So, Papa, I'm trying to focus this here. Henry Armstrong. Now, Henry Armstrong, as you can see here, Chester Rico and Lenny Boom Boom Mancini. He's the father of Ray Boom Boom Mancini. You had, let me see if I can stretch this out. Hold on. I can't stretch this out, but I'm just trying to. So you have Bob Montgomery and Maxie Shapiro, Bobby Ruffin, Carmine Fatter, Joey Peralta. Now, Joey Peralta was another very good fighter. Now, Green, who was the president of the NBA at that time, shortly formulated the plans to Angot's successor, and that would be Tippy Larkin or Bo Jack. Bo Jack would defeat Larkin in 3 rounds, and he would become the new lightweight champion of the world. Now, here's the thing about Bo Jack and Tippy Larkin. Tippy Larkin would hold 19 main event fights in New York's Madison Square Garden. Bo Jack would hold 21 main event bouts in Madison Square Garden. These 2 men would mix it up, and they would fight for the lightweight championship title. Now, both these men were offered an opportunity to face Ray Robinson in 1946 for the vacant crown of Marty Servo, and they both turned it down. And Bo Jack would eventually take on Ike Williams in 1948, and what fight that was. 45 or 46 unanswered punches. Charlie Jones. Oh my God, some good names here. So I just wanted to show you articles. This is very blurry. I'm sorry, I can't really quite. Let me see the headlines here. Okay, Tammy Mariello wins from Savoy and Fuse Bout. They're talking about Tammy Mariello from the Bronx, New York, and Lee Savoy. Now, Lee Savoy, I talked about him facing Joe Louis, and that solidified Ezra Charles' universal recognition for the heavyweight championship title. And Ezra Charles was now recognized universally as the world heavyweight champion when Joe Louis would take on Lee Savoy in 1951. Ezra Charles defeated Louis in 1951 in Yankee Stadium, but it wasn't good enough. Now, he would win that title in 49 by defeating Jersey Joe Walcott. Joe Louis would appoint both Jersey Joe Walcott and Ezra Charles for that opportunity, and that was great. One of the videos I did mention that Jersey Joe Walcott, I'm just scanning around here, Jersey Joe Walcott and Ezra Charles was the second 2 black fighters or all black fight cast to fight for the title. I misspoke. It was Jack Johnson battling Jim Johnson in 1913, and then you would have John Henry Lewis and Joe Louis in 1939. And I want to thank Xavier the Boxing Nerd for reminding me of that. And then you have Ezra Charles and Jersey Joe Walcott. I knew it, but see, I speak at the top of the head, so sometimes I get distracted. Now, forget my thought. Let me show you another page here. All right, so Willie Pep beats Chalky Wright to capture the featherweight championship title. I'm just paraphrasing here. November 20th, 1942. Willie Pep, youthful Hartford battler, won his 54th consecutive fight, and with it, the featherweight title, as he took a 15-round decision from Chalky Wright at the Garden last night. Pep, who hasn't lost a fight since he turned professional in 1940, becomes the third Hartford fighter to wear the featherweight crown, duplicating the feats of Kid Kaplan, K.O. Kid Kaplan, and Battling Battalino. He was a great Italian fighter. I remember when he fought the Fargo Express, Billy Patrol, Battling Battalino would defeat Chalky Wright. Kid Chocolate. Very good fighter was Battling Battalino. But I just wanted to show you some of the write-ups that I have in these books. And of course, it tells you the article about Chalky Wright and Willie Pep. Now, Willie Pep would eventually lose to Sammy Ingot as he makes a return go. We just talked about Sammy Ingot. And he would lose his first fight. And then he would turn around and have another over 70 fights before he would lose to Sandy Sadler. So I just wanted Hank KO's Jenkins. That's Henry Armstrong knocks out Lou Jenkins. As you can see here, Armstrong weighed 144 pounds and Lou Jenkins weighed 143.5 pounds. And I just have article after article after article about all the great fights that took place between 1942 and 1943. Next book is 1943, 1944. Book after that is 1944, 1945. It goes all the way up to the 1970s. And these are 1,000 pages front and back. Now here's an article. Ray Robinson outpoints Delacruz, November 6, 1942. Sugar Ray Robinson scores his 38th straight pro ring victory. And at least impressive, they were not impressed with his performance of all them last night at the Garden when he outpoints Vic Delacruz. And then it tells you 144.5 to 153.25 pounds. And it gives you a complete breakdown of the fight. And this is what I do when I do my videos and I do my research. I go directly to the newspaper ads. I don't need to go on a computer. I have all the articles that they have on a computer and more in my own personal possession. And I showed you some of them from the 1920s. I have articles from the 1800s with John O'Sullivan. In fact, John O'Sullivan has his own book. I have 2 books of John O'Sullivan, 1,000 pages each, 2,000 front and back. So that's 4,000 articles of John O'Sullivan, just him by himself. All the fights that he participated in when he was in jail and all those different details that I have. All right, let me move on, hold on. Now here's a good article. Hank Too Good for Zivic, October 26, 1942. San Francisco, October 27th. Local fight fans today were marveling at the exhibition put on by Henry Armstrong as he took a 10-round decision from Fitzy Zivic, tearing and throwing punches. And what was impressive to me, now Zivic weighed 146.5 pounds, Henry Armstrong weighed 142.5 pounds. He was never really a welterweight. Now, what was, really impressive to me was that Henry Armstrong lost twice to Zivic. First time in October 4th, 1940. That was the professional debut. I have that article of Ray Robinson. And he lost him again in 41. He was stopped in 12 rounds at the Garden. But he would defeat him in 42, Fitzy Zivic. He had 8,000 spectators in the house. And saw $30,000, Henry Armstrong, particularly even up and the same number to Pastor. You see, it's hard for me sometimes because of the blur. You can't see what I see, but it's a big blur when I look through my glasses through this camera. So sometimes I try to make an adjustment. I just want to try and read some of this to you, but it's very difficult. So I scan this so you can read it yourself. So it explains that Henry Armstrong was stopped in late 1940. A lot of articles. St. Nicholas Palace. So many different fights there that took place. So this is what I do. I basically just read. Tippy Larkin was from Garfield, New Jersey. Like I said, I met him personally. And he embraced me very well. Spoke with him for several hours about his life and boxing in general and things that took place during his time. As you can see here, title shot near for Larkin. This is the page before I showed you about Sammy Ingot retiring. October 19th, 1942. Tippy Larkin today is another big step nearer a title bout with Sammy Ingot. Now, Ingot would eventually retire, so Larkin would now be automatically recognized as the next contender for the title. That's when Bojack would fight Tippy Larkin, and the winner between those two would fight Bojack and Ali Saltz. And the winner between Bojack and Ali Stoltz would fight Tippy Larkin. And that's what happened. And Bojack would knock out Tippy Larkin in 3 rounds. St. Nicholas Rink. The St. Nicholas Arena was on 66th Street. And I want to say 7th Avenue. It's across the street from the... across the street from are you kidding me, the Jazz Place. I can't think of it right now. Maxie Shapiro whips Bob Montgomery and stunning upset. Philadelphia, October 6, 1942, 5-1 underdog. I get a thrill reading all these things here. Armstrong weighed 142 and Juan Zorita from Mexico City weighed 135.5 pounds. The knockout blow was on a left hook, which followed a right cross. Henry Armstrong was something else. As you can see here, Armstrong quick KO winner. Los Angeles, October 14th. Henry Armstrong, former triple boxing champion, knocks out Juan Zorita in 2 minutes and 20 seconds of the second round. And that's the same round that Ike Williams will knock out Juan Zorita in. Juan Zorita at that time had the NBA lightweight championship title. And Ike Williams would knock him out. And Ike Williams couldn't get out of that ring fast enough. They were throwing everything, half-eaten sandwiches, all kinds of liquids at him. And he had every color juice thing you could think of before he made it to the locker room. And it would be at that point he would be presented with his belt. Montgomery even scored with Shapiro because they fought again December 2nd. This is all 1942. 8,119 spectators paid $18,125. Montgomery is one of those named to compete in a lightweight championship tournament. I can do this all day. All right, let me get one more page and then we'll call it. Now I want to show you this final article. Robinson down. February 26, 1943. Defeats LaMotta. Now I'll tell you why this is so special. And Greco tops Shane. Now, Detroit, February 26. Ray Sugar Robinson tonight erases the only blotch on his record by winning a unanimous decision over Jake LaMotta at the end of 10 rounds at the Olympia Stadium. It was the third meeting between the fighters. 3 weeks ago, LaMotta defeated Ray Robinson on a stretch of a late rush. Once again, Robinson was nearly the victim of a stretch drive, but by Bronx Italian. So what happened in between these two fights, because Ray Robinson fought Jake LaMotta at 42, he defeated him. Then he fought him in 43, the first week in 43. He lost to him. That was his first loss in 40 bouts as a professional. Then he fought California Jackie Wilson. And then the week after that, he would take on Jake LaMotta for the second time. Well, the third time. But the second time in that same month. And he would defeat him. And I have 2 pages of that write-up in here. You know, like I said, these are original articles. There's nothing on the internet. So I just wanted to show you certain things that I do when I prepare for certain videos. I do the research. And the project that's coming up, I get a lot of that information from here. I have to explain where I got the sources from. So let me let this video go. I'm Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fistech of Series. All great fights and all great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Thanks for listening and watching my videos. I will continue to complete history of boxing series. And thanks so much. Give me a thumbs up. Tell me what you think. Subscribe to the channel. Those of you know people who are interested in historical boxing, tell them to subscribe to the channel. That's the least you can do for me. I am giving you gems here. I'm not asking for anything else, nothing monetary. Just do that for me and you help the algorithm grow, and let's try to get this information out there. Thank you. Take care and be well. Let me show you one more thing here. Armstrong outhits 3-1 by Joyce. Talking about Willie Joyce. Los Angeles, March 3rd, 1943. Henry Armstrong, to gain his lightweight championship, have suffered a crushing blow, one that must have convinced the great little battler that time is running out on him fast. Willie Joyce, because he defeated Willie Joyce, early in his career, from Gary, Indiana. Willie Joyce was an outstanding fighter. He fought Ike Williams 4 times, defeated him 3 out of 4 times. Great fighter was Willie Joyce. He was part of that, the great 4 lightweights, which was Bob Montgomery, Ike Williams, Bo Jack, and Willie Joyce. So the reason why I'm continuing doing this, because I was not going to do this anymore, but this is all in honor of my father. My father, who means everything to me, he passed away in 2005. And this is all we did. This is all we did since I was 7 years old. And this is in honor of him. The project that I'm currently working on is honor of him, because him and I were going to do that project. We never got a chance to do it. So I take this very seriously. I'm not just some casual guy. I've been doing this all my life. And I understand when someone understands, if you know what that means. So just respect the content and enjoy what I'm showing you, because this is pretty much what you're going to get on the internet, what I'm showing you here. All right, thanks again, peace. Shout out to Hardline Boxing, my brother on here. Blood Boxing, shout out to him. My brother Stormy B Man. Try to focus this here for you. Shout out to Trey X and Sister Lala D, Kwee, Cristiano Fights, Xavier the Boxing Nerd, 86 Boxing, and Random Accustomed Thoughts. All right, peace to all of y'all. Talk to y'all later. Peace.